Hey everyone, welcome back to Psyched About Life, where we talk about psychology, life, growth, and personal development. Today's video is all about indecisiveness, the 3 reasons why people are indecisive, and how to overcome that. So we're going to mention those 3 big things, but first, let's appreciate the background that I have. Yes, it's real. My mom went all out this year, as she always does for every season. We have this tree that me, my sister, my mom, and my dad also helped put together. We have a lot of new ornaments and old, and it's just a tradition. It's one of those things where like a tree has to be like a family time, and it's a very good bonding time for all of us. So that's why I love the holidays. I love that it brings everyone together and that we can do something special like this. So let's get into it. The 3 reasons. Number 1, being decisive is scary. We have that fear of failure. And that's the most common reason of them all, so they say. Making a decision means you might be wrong, and no one likes to be wrong. Being wrong makes you vulnerable. It makes you look bad. It makes you look like you're inadequate or that you don't know what you're talking about. And people want to be perceived by other people. They may care about how they're perceived. They want to be right. So being wrong is scary. Indecisive is more like you can't make a decision, right? So it's like past the point of, okay, I need time. This is like, no, you're having a hard time. And then I guess we could talk about how to overcome each reason. So for the first one, it being scary, being decisive can be intimidating, but remember, not making a decision is also making a decision. Inaction is often more damaging, so you actually increase your chance of failure by not deciding. Recognize that you're not a fortune teller, you're not God, whatever you believe in, you are not in control of every little thing. But if you choose consciously and can defend your decision through research and listening to other options, then you've done all you can do. And that's like the biggest takeaway. It's like, okay, even if you're wrong, at least you tried your best. At least you did everything that you could. And that should be enough. Like doing everything we can. Like for a lot of people, that's a hard pill to swallow. It's like, okay, I didn't do good, so that's it. I shouldn't try again, or I'm a failure, or you put all these negative thoughts in your head. Meanwhile, the act of trying is the success. Like you putting yourself out there, you doing something that you thought you couldn't do, and you taking that chance is success. And it should be seen as strength versus weakness. And that's the kind of mentality, that's the way that society should be thinking, because we always tell ourselves, well, if you didn't get first place, if you didn't get the medal to show that you did a good job, then did you really do a good job? And that shouldn't be the case, The effort should be more than enough. And that's like a hard pill to swallow for society, but also for ourselves. Number 2, being decisive means hurting someone's feelings. Often making a decision could put you in that spot where you are choosing one person's idea over another. We as humans want to be liked. And so we are afraid that deciding against someone will ruin that relationship. And a little bit more about that. So like being afraid to hurt someone's feelings, it could go 2 ways. It could be that you genuinely do care about how they feel, or it could be the more self-centered, ego thing where it's like, wait, no, I need to be liked. I can't have anyone thinking negatively of me versus like it about them. It's more about you. So it could go both ways of it being more for them versus for you. So think of it like that. And then how to overcome this. Remember the lesson in the first bullet that I mentioned. Not making a decision is also making a decision. Being decisive might lead the person getting upset with you. That's life. But by being proactive with a decision, you can control how it's communicated. So even if it's something that the person does not want to hear or may hurt their feelings, we can control how we deliver that message, how we relay that message. We could either say it with 0 empathy and say it in spite, or we could say it with more careful thought and consideration of the person's feelings. So it's like, yeah, the truth hurts, but like how you deliver it matters, if that makes sense. And last but not least, number 3, being decisive means deciding without all the information. There's usually more information you could get, so you delay the decision. Now, this indecisiveness is honestly, to me, it seems it's also proactive because you want more information, you want more to back your point and your decision up. Like, you want more to back it up, right? And how to overcome this: if you want more information, be specific. What information do you want? How long will it take? Oh, also consider this approach. Almost always, you don't have to make one big decision. You can make a smaller decision and then test and learn. So say you're bringing a new product to the market. Rather than promoting it like crazy one day, you can do a soft launch, and then you can use those learnings to inform a larger launch. So pretty much it's being a little bit more strategic. It's like, okay, I'm going to make somewhat of a decision, but like my bigger ultimate goal will be a bigger decision further down the road. But this is where I'm leaning towards. And you can say, yes, I would like to do this, but right now this is all I can provide for you. And it's all about that open communication. And of course, where does it stem from? Of course, it could be something linked to anxiety and depression, neuroticism, neurotic traits, fear of failure, lack of information, which is part of that big three. And those are all kind of shipped in that same where it stems from. And then one thing I found very interesting is that if you had like an authoritarian parent, for example, as long as you live under my roof, you do what I say, that theory implies that children who grow up in that environment might learn that their choices can get them in trouble. So delaying the decision altogether may seem safer. And like that's like that fear of failure. It's also like that fear of, consequences. If you grew up in an environment where it's like there was always a consequence, there was always like a discipline, it was like usually negative versus positive outcome, then you're going to be less likely to feel confident in your decisions, in your thought process. And that's all stuff that like we see in that early childhood. Those wounds, I have a couple of videos a couple months ago about wounds. Childhood wounds, and that kind of helps you strategize kind of like your whole, how you're going to go about your healing process, healing journey. But anyway, we don't have to get too nitty gritty, but a lot of it comes from our childhood, and it's like, oh, it's just because I'm anxious, this and that. It goes way deeper than anxiety. It's like a spectrum, right? So it's like, it could be something that runs in the family, like, oh my God, but my parents, a lot of my family have ADHD, or they have anxiety, or they have depression, but like a lot of things kind of form into a much bigger manifestation, like a spectrum, like it gradually increases, decreases, fluctuates. So it's something to look at like a spectrum. That's kind of how I see anxiety. And yes, you can have moderate, mild, and that's what I mean, it fluctuates. And so, but it's really interesting to see like where things kind of come from, where they manifest. Really cool stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video today. And if you want more videos like this one, a little bit more on the informative side, please comment down below. And like I always say, like, share, comment, and subscribe, of course. Thanks for coming. Merry Christmas.